All right, folks, so this week's course is a course called Silver Lake Golf Course, and it is on a property called Silver Lake Plantation, which is a neighborhood just off of Route 40, and it is approximately 95 miles from Winston-Salem. It is officially, according to my GPS software, it is an hour-and-a-half drive from downtown Winston-Salem. And I would say it is probably about a half an hour past Charlotte, except that Charlotte is well south of 40, and you have to take 77 down from 40 to get to Charlotte. So it is more of a Morganton is the local town, which is actually not a small, out-of-the-way, back road kind of town. It's actually a decent-sized, fairly modern little town. So it's not like an out-of-the-way burg in the middle of nowhere, but it is in the foothills of the eastern Appalachians. I would say it's about 25 miles from Asheville, east of Asheville. So it is a decent drive west towards Tennessee, but it is not in the middle of nowhere. It is not in some mountain resort, lake resort or something. It's actually a pretty decent upscale residential neighborhood and a very nice course. I won't say the course is excellent. It's still a neighborhood course. There's still houses around the course. It's just that it is one of the better neighborhood courses that I've played. It certainly is a decent challenge. It's not the most challenging neighborhood course that I've played, or even a extremely challenging neighborhood course, but it is a decently challenging slope 139 from the back tees, and I believe it is about 6,500 yards from the back tees. It's not a long course. There aren't any holes on this course that are really long. I think the longest hole, par 5, is about 500 yards, and there's a 427 yard par 4, but most of the par 4 is about 350, 375 yards from the back tees, and the par 3s are all about 185 yards. None of the holes are really wide open, but they are not too tight either. They're a decent challenge on the approach. The tee shots, none of the tee shots likewise are really tight, really hard, but they are a decent level of difficulty. There's certainly room to bang the ball around on this course, but you can't just go buck wild and just slap it all over the place. So I think it is a decent 139 slope course. What makes it tricky and harder than the average, say 130, 135 course, is there's a fair amount of verticality on most of the holes. There are a number of fairways that are steeply sloped off the sides. For example, number 9, the whole left side of the number 9 fairway slopes down to the woods, and then there's just woods. It's just dense woods. So there's really nothing to keep your ball from going left off the fairway into the woods if you pull it left, or if it draws off the left side. The right side, though, is above the fairway, which is the number 18 fairway, and actually there's certainly playable space up on the 18th fairway to play back to the number 9 green. So it's not super difficult. I think this is the case for most of the holes on this course, is that you have room to cheat and play safe, but there's still at least something of a peril off the tee. So it is a good player's course as well as a good hitter's course. The one detriment I would say is a problem with this course is that a lot of the greens are blind. You're playing uphill. You can see the top third of the flag maybe from the fairway, and you're hitting shots up there kind of hoping for something good to happen, and if you're lucky it does. If you're too far away from the green, it'll slide off the side, either down to the cart path or off into the rough on the left. But there's really not a lot of serious peril. There is some peril if you go long on many of the holes. Definitely some cliffs, drop-offs behind the green. So there's enough peril behind the greens where you don't want to go really long, blading balls over the green. But at the same time, it's decent enough that there's always at least an option. You have the center fairway up to the green and either the right side or the left side that are safe. And while there may be some sand traps around the greens, usually there's nothing really bad. I mean, this course has some big traps, some traps that are, you know, maybe waist high or chest high in some places, but there's nothing really difficult to play out of the traps. It is, I think, a good mixture of difficulty and challenge and playability, accessibility, and I think it's a very good golf course. The one thing that does kind of knock it down a little bit is that the grass is only so good in some places where, you know, there's a mixture of scrub grass and dirt, say near some of the cart paths where there's been a lot of wear, and it could be higher. I could say the rough could be more solid. It could be in better condition in terms of the rough in certain places, but mostly it's pretty good. It's certainly playable. The fairways are in, I would say, decent condition, considering they're not like soaked twice a day and Bermuda grass and all that kind of stuff. That's not what this course is. It's adequately grassed. It's certainly playable. So yeah, the greens are nice size, not too big, not too small, and there is significant action and speed on the greens. These greens are tricky to putt because there's a good amount of pace that's lost hitting uphill, and there's a good amount of speed that comes downhill, and they're faster than they seem to be or should be, and they're very challenging. I would say they're on a scale of 1 to 5, they're like a 3.5 to 4 of a challenge to putt. So definitely a good round. I enjoyed playing the course. I had a nice time playing. It was a good, solid golf challenge. And the houses were not, for the most part, so close to the course, so imposing that they were a real issue. However, as usual, there were a couple of houses where people were sitting on their decks talking loudly and easily distracting and so forth. But really only 1 or 2 houses out of the entire 18 holes. So I think I got away sort of clean on that regard. There are a couple holes, definitely number 17, where there is a house right across from the cart path on the side of the green that one has to be very careful not to put a ball in. There's got a big sign right there in the grass. Please keep off the grass, or please stay off, you know, something. And it's right on the other side of the cart path. I hit a ball there and I had to sort of reach out with my putter and grab it without actually walking on the grass and bending over and having somebody come racing out of the house and, you know, what are you doing in my grass? You know, but it's a little bit, that one is maybe a little bit too close, but otherwise it was fine. I think the number 15, which is a dogleg left, or is it 16? No, 15, dogleg left. The house, there is a house at the corner, but you can't see it from the tee box. And when you go down there on the cart path, you pass by the house and it's got OB stakes and stuff, and you go, oh, there's a house there, I didn't know that. So I can see that house getting shelled. I can see a couple of other houses on the course getting shelled. But for the most part, almost all of the houses are well back from the course. Not to say that none of them loom over the course, but it's not much of a problem. So to me, this was a good neighborhood golf course to play. It was a good challenging course. The scenery was very nice. You got all these, you know, mountaintop views or hilltop views at least and stuff, and you get nice shots of the ridge line and so forth, and there's lakes here and there, and they're really nice houses. They're not like, you know, cheap houses, or they're good. They would call them mansions in the DC area. They're not even all that close together even, which is surprising. It's a nice place, nice neighborhood. There's only a moderate amount of road noise. I will definitely say that some of the houses, there's a house right behind the tee box, you know, in some places. I think at number 13, the par 3 that goes over the lake, there's a house right there next to the back tees. And there's a driveway right there, and while I was on the tee box. Guy drove his truck up in the driveway and so forth, and then turned around and came back out of the house. I was like, all right, fine. And but in general, it's a good, I would say a 3.5 on the neighborhood golf course scale. Nice course, decent neighborhood, not too much interaction. When I pull up there, I heard one plane passing by the course. And overall, I think it was worth the trip out there. It certainly was worth the cost. It was only $25 with a cart at 4 o'clock on a weekday. It might have been 35, but I'm pretty sure it was like $25, $28. It was a very good deal for that course. That course was one of the better placed courses that I've played in the last year, and it was in one of the better environments for a neighborhood golf course that I've played in the last year, and I absolutely would recommend this course. It is definitely worth the drive out to play it. Now, I can't say what it's like when it's really busy. I can see the course backing up a little bit on certain spots because they are a challenge to play. There's a lot of holes in this course where the traffic could back up, but I think it's still worth it to get out there and play it if you can get there when it's not too busy. I wouldn't want to go out there on a Saturday or Sunday during the day, but I could definitely see sneaking out during the week to play this course. It was nice. It was really nice. Nice clubhouse, nice facilities, electric carts, just a good, nice course that was a good, nice challenge. Despite its flaws, I think the overall panache of the course was very nice, and it was just good. I can say that. Not great, but good, and it definitely was a B plus A minus course. It was somewhere up in that range, and I will wholeheartedly recommend it. That was Silver Lake Golf Club in Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina.